example, then you just go to the faculty. But the students have most control over what's going to affect them. They have more control over, and then what's not going to affect them, the teachers and faculty have more control over.
Okay.
Okay, so what are you gonna make sure? What are you gonna do to make sure that the right teachers are chosen? Because what happens many times is that a teacher may say, "Oh, I've taught HL in the past," or "I've taught 30 years," but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good teacher, right? And that's how. And well, I'm not gonna say that's happened often at this school, but it has happened. So what measures are you gonna take to make sure that the right teachers are chosen?
Right, so I'd like, first of all, we go through an interview process, make sure that their qualifications are all correct, and then we have like a candidates list, we choose from them, and then once the teacher has been approved and they're actually starting to teach, I'd like to get like 2-3 students per class to, after a month of work with the teacher, come up with like a review on the teacher. That way we know if we've picked the right one or not, and then from that review we can either choose to remove or keep the teacher in the school.
Yeah. Do you think homework should be mandatory? Like, for example, if a student is doing well in all of his classes and like he doesn't need to do his homework to get a good grade, should that student be forced to do the homework even if he doesn't need to?
If the student has no issues with passing like formatives and summatives without actually needing to do homework, then I feel like a certain level of homework is necessary. Because I mean, most things are taught in the classroom, but you can learn quite a bit more at home. And so even if the student is passing with straight A's without like even trying, you should still get that extra practice in, because it just helps you for your future, I guess.
Good. Okay, second round of questions. Milena?
In the few weeks you've been in Madrid, how do you think it differs from where you used to live? I mean, you used to live there, right, as well? Do you have something in common?
In where? Brussels or
Yeah,
Dubai?
Brussels.
Or
where
hang on. I've never been to Brussels before, so I don't know.
You lived in...
I used to live in Dubai.
Okay, and he used to teach in...
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so...
I used to teach in Dubai.
What's the difference, like, between Dubai and Madrid?
Okay, so in Dubai, I used to work with little kids, so it was a lot, there was a lot more leeway with like what they were doing, so the homework obviously was a lot less than it is now here. But in Dubai, the schooling system was a lot more relaxed, I'd say, compared to here. Like the maths at this school, they're pretty high, but like I wouldn't say that they were as high as in Dubai, the scores that is. But I like how here in this school they're very centered on the IB compared to when I used to teach in Dubai. Yeah, I like how they're more centered on universities, how they're really trying to get their 11th and 12th graders to pass the IB with like exceptional grades, and most of them do. And in Dubai that didn't really happen.
Okay. So.
Can you talk about your past experience and how that would help you improve high school?
Good example of open-ended question. Talk about your experience.
So in Brussels, I used to connect a lot with the students. They'd come and talk to me after school, during lunch, anything like that. We'd discuss their issues, and hopefully some of them are resolved. I don't know because they haven't exactly gotten back to me yet. But yeah, so I feel like I'll create more of a sense of community, which the school already has here, but like I'd like to strengthen it a bit more, make sure that 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders can like become more of a joint group, because they're all in the high school together, right? So if like the 9th and 10th graders. In Brussels, we used to have advisories that would go 10, 11, and 12th graders. They'd all be mixed into one classroom. I'd like to maybe incorporate that here, so you create more of a sense of community.
What's your opinion on school spirit?
On school spirit?
Yes.
I think it's very important. Make sure that you're proud to be a Lancer that is here. It helps to have a day off and just go to do some sports outside with your friends during the last hour of the day. So I feel like school spirit is extremely important in schools.
What do you think about yourself that makes you approachable to the students? Like, why do you think that since
I'm usually pretty open. I make students laugh quite a bit. I make sure to be kind all the time. I never insult, obviously, as you shouldn't do. I have strong moral purpose, so like people really, well, I enjoy talking to people, so I hope people enjoy talking to me. Yeah, I also develop effective relationships with all the members of the school. So it's the students, the teachers, all the faculty. I make sure to like go introduce myself the first days that I'll be here. Most things about me are approachable. I'm not too scary as a person, and as I said, I think I'm kind of funny, so.
Martin? Oh, Daria, did we do you? Okay, Martin?
What?
Second question.
What is your thoughts on the lunch menu?
The lunch menu?
Yeah, food.
I don't know, I've never eaten here, so.
But do you plan to change it?
I don't know the lunch menu here.
Okay, so when we're talking about open-ended questions, is that an open-ended question? Do you plan to change it?
Yeah.
So maybe try to rephrase it so that he doesn't have to answer with a yes or no.
So, what is the plan for lunch?
As long as there's no issues with it now, then why should it change? If the students, say again?
There are issues.
If you tell me the issues and I try to help and change them, like imagine the lines are too long, I don't know, I'll talk to the board of directors and try to create a new cafe place so that there can be less people at one area at a time.
David?
Talk about your experience is with multicultural students.
That's good. I celebrate internationalism, so I really enjoy it when people who come from different countries come and talk to me, because I like to learn about their culture and things. And me being Irish, my wife being Spanish, I have some insight on what it's like to be connected with people from different cultures. So I always enjoy talking to other people about where they come from and how they see the world and stuff from their points of view. So I really like talking to people from different cultures.
Oh, do you know Mr. Dempsey?
Yes, he's a brother. No, I do not.
Yes, you met him. He was part of
I
the...
have? Never
yes.
mind, I have met him.
He was part of the interview committee.
He was my favorite. No.
Oh!
Mr. Sissons and Mr. Dempsey were my favorite ones there.
Because we both have Irish nationality.
Exactly.
There we go.
Perfect.
So although you only just got to the school, what types of trips do you think that classes should be taking? Because right now we're only going to Sunshine in the Woods, and that's one trip. And I know a lot of different other I know a lot of other schools that are taking much larger trips to different places.
I think that for the science classrooms, for example, we should go and visit museums. Same thing for history. Hang on.
Original.
Yes. So at least you'll have more things to do. Then again, we can also go to I don't know, if we find places in the mountains, just like supposedly your school does something in 6th and 8th grade called Grados or something like that. Right, we can all go camping in the mountains and things like that. That'd be great. I don't know. Add some more trips that are actually fun.
That's a little sketchy.
Look, I'm a friendly guy, okay? So I don't know. Try to add more field trips. That's what it is.
Okay. So I don't know if you know, but currently in high school, we offer different levels of math, right? Because well, some students just happen to be more advanced than others. But the problem is that in middle school, they shut that whole program down, right? So the smarter students are not getting the extra work that they deserve, and then the less able students are
Less successful.
the less successful students
Right. Continue.
the less successful students are not getting the attention they need, right? Do you think that differentiation is something that should be implemented at this school, or do you think it should be kept where everybody's at the same level?
I think that there should be different classes. If somebody cannot do algebra, if they haven't learned algebra, then they should go to an algebra class. If somebody already knows algebra and needs to learn, I don't know, let's say geometry, they should go to a geometry class. There shouldn't be one classroom that teaches everything, because there are people that just don't know what they're doing and that they need help learning what they need to learn to be able to move on into high school.
And then I just have a follow-up question. Do you think this is something that should only be employed in math or in all subjects?
In all the subjects,
Yeah.
such as like science, for example.
Science, English, everything.
Yeah, I mean science probably not, because science is just, you just need that foundation to be able to go up into IB. But I feel like maths is the most important one.
And last question.
Well, following up on what Sebastian just asked, if a student feels like he already knows the content that is being taught in a specific class, do you think that student should be allowed to take that class but for a higher grade level? So, for example, can a 9th grader take a 10th grade science class if he feels like he already knows
If he's already,
everything is being taught?
as if
Yeah.
he's already known, or if he's already learned everything.
Yeah.
You should go talk to the faculty, and they might be able to change him into the higher classes.
So was that last question open-ended?
Yes.
No, because it could have been answered with a yes or no.
But it's very important.
Yeah.
It's important. Thank you, Mr. Bolstrom.